Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. This is a topic that we do not talk about often, nearly ever, especially on this channel, but it's been popping up over and over again. Crypto is becoming big. Not sure if you noticed, but in like a very noticeable way. So a number of years ago, I'm talking 2016, 2017, 2018, we used to get a lot of yearly or bi-yearly reports from the US, England, Australia, maybe one or two like land European countries, or maybe, one or two others who would write articles or have like assessments of the cryptocurrency market, how big it was, how big it wasn't back then, and if it was in any way a threat to the current market of, that country. It was always a resounding no. The idea was always the cryptocurrency market is very volatile. We will keep an eye on it, and we will see exactly what happens. By the end of the year, there was another article, and it was like, no, crypto is in no way, shape, or form going to ever cause any problems to the US dollar or to the euro or to the yen or all these other things, etc., etc. By the time we got to 2021, some of those articles began to change, and this was mainly like a chain reaction from Facebook, remember that, years ago trying to make their own coin. It was not a cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies are decentralized and are not controlled by anyone. They were making a coin. It's going to be Facebook coin or whatever they were trying to call it, which got torn apart basically because countries realized, for those of you who missed it back then, that Facebook overnight was going to become the largest bank on the planet. Crazy, right? Yeah. I think it's estimated they had 1 or 2 billion users out of the 8 billion people on the planet. And therefore, if you instantaneously give 1 to 2 billion people access to this coin and you make sure that they use it, the idea being is that if you say, hey, use Facebook coin. No, I don't want to. Well, hey, if you want to buy something for your home or do people buy stuff for work? I don't know. Or clothing or whatever. Buy it from this website, Facebook, and we'll give you a 25% discount. Maybe even give you some cash back after you buy it. Everyone's going to start to do it. That's why we saw all those years ago that we had all these companies. It was like Uber and yada, 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 who were also talking about that they were going to use Facebook coin. It got shut down. That's around the time, 2020, 2021, when countries kind of changed their tune slightly, and they said, hey, this crypto thing might actually be something. We're going to be paying attention to the markets and see exactly where things are going. That's the significance of people talking about that over the course of either this halving or the next, that Bitcoin could surpass $250,000. The $250,000 mark is when Bitcoin would be large enough to literally surpass gold. If Bitcoin surpasses gold, the thing that humans have been using for thousands of years as a metric of measurement of for value, then something is seriously here when it comes to the actual power of this cryptocurrency space. This also then drags us into the idea of, well, we know that Bitcoin over the last couple of years has also become quite strong as a currency. A lot of people will reflect and say, well, Bitcoin's very volatile. It's not as stable as the US dollar, the euro, or the yen, which is also complete nonsense because those coins have also been inflating out the wazoo. But then you have the conversation of, well, could something eventually happen to Bitcoin? Like, could it eventually become large enough that neighboring countries began to adopt it as a form of currency? And this is what we've also been seeing over the course of the last couple of years. We also had a situation where this was 2019, 2020, I want to say somewhere around there. We had news that they were apparently, after El Salvador announced, I believe after, that they were going to have Bitcoin as legal tender. There were 3 countries who went to the World Bank and to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. You can look it up. I forgot what 3 countries. They're somewhere in the Middle East. Announced that they were basically going to start issuing Bitcoin bonds. Those countries said, we need money. So they were going to start buying up Bitcoin and issuing bonds in relation to how much Bitcoin that they had. And the governments collectively were like, nope, you can't do that because the US dollar is king around the world. Everyone's forced to basically use it. As Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space continued to get larger and continue to expand. And time is always something that I think that people forget. Not that you've forgotten how time works. I almost pointed to my wrist. I have no watch there, so I don't know why I was going to do it. But people forget that time goes forward, and they sometimes lose track of like dragging out or extrapolating actual time as it currently stands. That is to say, a lot of times when we do things, and I understand this because life is very stressful, believe me, I get it. A lot of times we'll see, okay, 2024, this is what's going to happen, but we don't really say, I'm getting crypto, I'm buying real estate, I'm buying X, Y, and Z, because in the year 2032, 2040, I expect that this thing is going to have increased in value even more. So when you hear now that Bitcoin is as high as it is projected that it's going to go higher, and therefore over the course of the next 2 to 3 to 4 halvings, Bitcoin's value will also continue to skyrocket higher than it is right now. We can only assume that the news that I am going to tell you is going to continue in this direction at the exact same moment. One of the really crazy things is that there's so many different layers within the cryptocurrency space and exactly what's going on. So a lot of times, your first perception of the cryptocurrency space may be, well, it's Bitcoin. It's a number on the screen. There's Ether, there's XRP, they're numbers. I can move them back and forth and I can do this with them. What also is taking place is something called, it's a very wide ranging thing, but I'm going to just give you the TVL, the total value locked, of multiple assets across the cryptocurrency space. So within multiple different blockchains, the idea became around 2017, 2018, that while many people were using cryptocurrencies as just a method of payment, I can send crypto to you, you can send it to me. People were like, I feel like we can do other things with this. The idea became wrapped coins, like WRAPPED was one of the first ideas as to what could be done with a lot of these coins. And that is to say, as Bitcoin is slow and only does 3 transactions per second, and XRP currently does 2 or 3 or 4,000, however many transactions per second, you would literally be able to wrap your Bitcoin or the value of a Bitcoin and basically lock it into the XRP blockchain, the XRP ledger, and you'd be able to transact in Bitcoin's value on top of the XRP ledger. That's kind of one of the main things that really popped up and everyone was like, oh, I didn't realize we could do that. The Ethereum ecosystem is also quite interesting because you can basically lock up your Ethereum for basically everything. You want to do this, you can lock it up. You want to make a smart contract, you can lock it up. You want to stake your coins, you can also lock them up as well. This is where proof of stake also comes in. The idea being the more people who are staking, who are locking the value, the TVL, total value locked within the actual chain, you kind of also help the coin's price to also go up. If we can see that 20-30% of a coin is not moving because it's locked up to stake as people are getting passive income, well, therefore the other 70, value rises, yada, 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 yada. You get the idea. I think I've explained it relatively enough. A lot of people have been looking at the numbers, and this is where it gets a bit crazy. When I said that cryptocurrencies are big and getting bigger, it's this idea. People were looking to the and I don't care for the term, the DeFi ecosystem, the decentralized finance, that is to say the cryptocurrency space, and looking at exactly how much money is locked up in a lot of these protocols. And wouldn't you know it, it's a lot of money. Apparently, they said that there's actual, in 2023, the total value locked just on certain chains amounted to $52.71 billion. There's a graph there. It doesn't really matter. The interesting part is, it says, and I quote, interestingly, the current total value locked is actually more than the top 91 countries' GDP of 2023. The gross domestic product, usually how well a country is doing, how much money is going in, how much is going out, how much money they printed inflation-wise. It's typically supposed to be 1 to 2%. This is what they say. How much stronger or richer a country got. The money just locked up, and I think it's about 5 chains, and 5 chains in total, is larger than 91 other countries. This is according to the Wikipedia list. In particular, Uganda's 2023 GDP was 52 billion. Tunisia's was 51 and Jordan's was 50 billion as well. They have an entire list here. Basically, it was larger than Uganda, Tunisia, Jordan, Cameroon, Bolivia, Latvia, Bahrain, Paraguay, Estonia, Nepal, and there's also another bunch of lists as well. I'm not reading all 91 countries. That just seems to be completely irrelevant at this point. The 5 chains, there are 5 chains that have more cryptocurrency locked in. Understand what a country does. You produce, you create, you have workers who make and produce and create for you. You have shipments in, you have shipments out. You do business with other countries. You're constantly building, you're recreating infrastructure. You're building up your country over and over and over and over and over. Now think of 91 countries doing this. Think of how much energy is expelled by people and these governments to do these specific things. Think of that. Think of when you walk outside, all the energy that you see in your country, all the people building, all the people creating, all the people going to work, all the trains moving, all these things, creating these economies, creating the GDP. Now shrink that 91 down to 5 cryptocurrency chains. Just on chain, the money locked inside of them equates to more than those countries going to work, making, creating, importing, exporting, building up their infrastructure. It's insane. I just hit myself. It's insane to think of how big this space is. And we have only just begun. The cryptocurrency space is going to be around for another 100 plus years. Before I even get to the countries, the chains, one of the really crazy things that I heard years ago about the cryptocurrency space, and I'm personally, is one of the things that I think is definitely going to become true. I mentioned a number of years ago the idea of like staking, that this will become the new way that people basically make passive income. The idea of, dare I say, working in the future is going to be something not applicable for a lot of people as AI basically takes over, robots take over. We don't have to get into that discussion. Self-driving cars, self-driving trucks, self-driving Ubers, you name it. We are entering this world right now. This is where we currently are. The other side is that the people who are in the cryptocurrency space are going to benefit the most from A, having the most money because they invested early enough. And also, I guess this is B, from having enough money through passive income sources that they think of you having to go to work every day. Millions of people across multiple countries going to work every day to produce, to create, working 8 hours a day. And just on 5 blockchains alone, it has surpassed those countries. Think about it. So what's going to happen in the future is not only, this is my opinion, not only will cryptocurrency holders and investors become the wealthiest people on the planet, it looks like it's moving in that direction, but they will also be able to no longer have to labor because the coins that they hold will be able to procure enough passive income for them that it'll basically at least fulfill their basic needs and necessities, the rent, the health insurance, and the food that they have to eat. We are clearly going in that direction. It is going to actually happen. And this is my opinion, it is going to cause a gigantic shift in the way that the world works. And this is why I think in the future, a lot of people are going to be quite angry when they realize that they could have gotten crypto earlier, but didn't for whatever reason was going on in their life. But the 5 chains, once again, are Ethereum with $29 billion, Tron with $8.19 billion, Binance Chain with $3.16 billion, Arbitrum with $2.38, and Solana with $936 million at the time of me making this video. The world is crazy. The world is absolutely insane when you think of how much money is flowing through these protocols, how much money people stand to make, the amount of passive income. It's completely, I don't want to say the term out of control, but when you think of this way of living, I mean, it's also, it seems normal to me now, but it's also like years ago when I found out what a dividend was, I was like, whoa. People get money for holding a stock. They don't do anything. They just make money from, yep. You keep buying more stocks and you live off the dividends. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And then finding out about real estate, living your whole life with your family and they pay rent. You forget that someone owns it. And you're like, when you, oh my gosh, if I own the real estate, someone pays me. It's kind of the same exact thing. But now we moved on to a whole new sci-fi kind of thing where it's like, I can own a number on a blockchain and it pays me. There are certain coins that literally do, weekly and bi-weekly staking payouts. You can just get money very interesting. The point is, a couple of protocols have more money locked into them. This isn't money that's moving around. This isn't active money that's being swapped back and forth. It is locked on chain. On chain, locked there, is producing more, or is worth more. Forgive me, is worth more than the GDP of 91 other countries. As always, the article will be in the description below for those of you who would like to read it and see the little pretty charts as well. But yeah, we are in for a very dramatic future. I've been saying that for a while. I think we are witnessing it right now. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one seeing what's happening in the news and what's happening with asset allocation and the amount of people who are buying up all the crypto, who are buying up all the real estate, who are buying up all the land, and all the other stuff that's been going on as well. So yeah, I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed this bit of a, anyway, I was gonna say wacky video. It wasn't wacky. It was more like kind of intense, if anything. I hope you've all enjoyed. I hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking, camera always cuts out. We will be talking to you all soon. See you.